Okay, even before talking about the season premiere, I just want to say that it will always have a special place in my memory because of where I saw it. I got to witness this at BabsCon with a packed room full of fans and the best episode warm-up ever. So by positive association, this two-parter carries memories of fun cosplays, good friends, awesome people, and wonderful times. That does not, however, protect it from my Mad Lib. Twilight Sparkle is concerned about her castle and is feeling depressed. Well, maybe not depressed, but there's some concern there. But there's no time to dwell as Equestria is in danger from the evil Starlight Glimmer, and the royal ponies cannot help. Mostly because no pony asked them and Starlight isn't a threat to Equestria just yet, but Twilight travels to some town to try and help, but she becomes separated from her friends and all seems lost. Wait, no she doesn't. And the villain doesn't fall due to her own ego, but rather our heroine's resourcefulness and support from... Well, this didn't last long. Mad Lib. Initiate self-destruct. I had to pay extra for this feature. And yet only now do I question why.
Life is a joy in our town. We're all equal here. No one is superior, and no one shakes in fear.
Out of all the two-parters, this one might buck the trend the most. Let's tackle this piecemeal because there is a lot to go over. We return to Equestria with Twilight's new castle, and I'm sorry to say I'm still not used to the sight of it, but that's a topic for next episode. For now, I shall focus on Thunderlane and Rumble hanging out like good brothers. Duh. Inside, our heroines are knee-deep in exposition.
We found all 6 keys, defeated T-Rex, and got this sweet castle.
Everybody got that?
Yes, thank you. So after every pony gets a line to re-establish their character, we see the first of the new castle secrets, an equestrian GPS.
You are here. The story needs you to go here. Would you like directions?
Spike's not going along on this trip, and I'm sorry he'll miss out. Yet I take a certain comfort in that they gave him a reason to stay behind. He gets to have a social life instead of simply being forgotten.
Looks like it's time for a road trip.
Actually, before we go too far, I want to talk about Twilight and the map specifically. One of the criticisms for Twilight's character is that she lacks autonomy. That basically Celestia says, go face Discord. Go to your brother's wedding. Go to the Crystal Empire. Go home and don't tell any pony. Twilight gets the job done, but usually has to be told what to do and to get her rear in gear. And for some, that takes away from her character. Now that she's simply going somewhere because the map said so, I think there'll be criticisms that she surrendered even more autonomy. I personally disagree. In many an adventure, the hero is perfectly fine living a peaceful life until the call to action finds them.
Take a bite. Hercules! We need you!
I don't think less of a character if they answer that call or receive a little guidance. It's how they perform under pressure that defines their character. In fact, I'm glad for this map. In the past, Celestia had to offer exposition for the situation. With the map, we're not immediately in the know. We get to discover this conflict alongside Twilight, who is right to say that it all comes back to the Tree of Harmony and its intentions. There's a feeling of purpose to this thing, even if we can't see it immediately. It also has the added bonus of relieving Celestia as the Princess of Exposition, and she doesn't have to call on Twilight because the situation is outside her control. Which is good for Celestia, but bad for me because I thought I'd help give the premiere a running start. And I am so sorry that I didn't wear a disguise. Okay, I'll get you down, but you can't be mad. She's mad. So our heroine set off on a really impressive train animation, which has the greatest breaks in the history of forever. Downside, it really spoils things in hindsight. Ha-ha! No prison can hold me! Your one mistake, Celestia, was leaving me my spoon! We finally see our destination, the village of... town.
I'm on it.
Careful, Pinky!
Pinky. Her humor was very hit or miss in Season 4. I'm happy to say she's in full stride here, reacting to the situation in her own way rather than being goofy for the sake of goof. And noting that there is something wrong with these smiles.
An entire village with the same cutie mark? How can that be?
Little known fact, this town was the first place to call foul on DeviantArt's new logo. And now let us meet the most unnerving ponies in Equestria.
Well, you've certainly come to the right place for friendship.
We're happy to have any pony who wants to experience true friendship for the first time.
Before this aired, a lot of fans who saw the preview viewed this as an allegory for communism, mostly because they equal cutie marks that everyone shares. But communism is focused on the shared ownership of production means and the elimination of class. There's no question here that Starlight's in charge, and she herself is excited to have a princess's endorsement. Others have pointed to this setup as cultural communism or neo-Marxism, the elimination of differences based on the belief that special talents breed inequality. But unicorns can still do limited magic, and the fact that Pegasi are still airborne seems to fly in the face of this idea. Pun intended. And one has to ask, how did something like cultural communism find its way into a cartoon about pastel horses? But, well, here we are. And how strange it is to go from sirens who stressed a single message
We don't have to be one in the same thing.
to a town that shows the opposite extreme as being just as dangerous. It's an impressive contrast, with Twilight and Company acting as the healthy middle ground. For me, I see the unnamed town, village, whatever as less about communism and more, well, ladies and gents, I give you the first equestrian cult. It matches all of Robert J. Lifton's 8-point model for thought reform. Environmental control.
No pony has ever come to our village and wanted to leave.
Mystical manipulation.
Join in our utopia. Come out of the dark.
Demand for purity.
And no thought to the pain you'd cause your friends. Such selfishness.
The cult of confession.
I'm sorry, every pony. I never wanted to leave the village.
Sacred science.
A pony with a different cutie mark in our midst would destroy our entire philosophy.
Loaded language.
This is a perfectly normal part of the equalization process.
Doctrine over person.
I gave these ponies real friendships they never could have had otherwise.
Dispensing of existence.
Your friend has accepted our way. You will all accept our way. It's only a matter of time.
Most of the main six aren't buying this, except Fluttershy, who's smitten by how nice every pony behaves. After all, she's been outright ignored or disrespected by Ponyville on several occasions. Oh, come on, episode, cut me a break. We're being all super serious here. Can we please have a moment of levity?
We have muffins?
What? I said levity, not an invitation for more pain. No! I think she broke my everything. Anyway, Twilight and Company aren't getting far until they meet with several residents who explain the cutie unmarking.
Starlight uses the Staff of Sameness to magically take them away and replace them with these.
Twilight and Company go to see the vault where the missing cutie marks are kept.
How did the subject of the vault come up?
Oh, some ponies were telling us how much they miss their cutie marks and... Pinky! Oops!
Oh, Pinky, you were doing so well. Yeah, know your limits, kiddo. Believe it or not, you got off easy. Because the pretense ends and the main six's cutie marks are violently torn from their bodies. It's a harsh animation showing just how closely tied they are to their talents. Not gonna lie, this is already the darkest episode, let alone two-parter, I've seen thus far. It's also the smallest scale premiere to date. There's no big bad in the traditional sense, no overt world-conquering scheme. Starlight Glimmer is malicious, yet she looks like a normal pony.
I'm definitely not a villain.
Many fans have voiced disappointment at this limited scope. We're used to larger-than-life struggles, and I'm expecting something like that by season's end. But as a startup to the new season, I really enjoyed this shift. This is a conflict on a personal level that both engages and unnerves me. Kudos to the staff for making a great conflict and a great villain, who imprisons the main six in a brainwashing chamber. My little Orwellian, brainwashing is magic!
Oh, even tweets don't make sense anymore.
Did they ever? Twilight realizes that the only way out is to fake a conversion, and who better than the one who was most supportive of the town's first impression? Okay, that's it. Every pony stop making faces. I am burnt out on scary faces. Touché, viewer memory. Touché. So while Pinkie Pie ruled part 1 with her comedy, Fluttershy is a standout pony for part 2, though she's not alone as a stallion named Party Favor gives himself up to cover for her. So you know how often I say I'd like to see Stallions take a more positive role? Right here. This guy. Yeah, he's struggling with brainwashing thanks to Starlight, but that just enforces the courage he showed in speaking up. So now it's up to Fluttershy to sneak out and rescue their cutie marks. A shame she doesn't have her sneaking suit, but we can adapt. And oh look, Starlight's been reading the TV Troop's Evil Overlord list. Number 5. The artifact which is the source of my power will not be kept in the Mountain of Despair beyond the River of Fire guarded by the Dragons of Eternity. It will be kept in my safe deposit box. And while playing the Peeping Pony, Fluttershy witnesses something unexpected.
What a twist!
Gotta be honest, I never picked up that Starlight's coat was more saturated than the other ponies. I'm gonna say it was the convention projectors. Yeah, that's it. I'm smart. So how's Fluttershy gonna get this info to her friends?
I'd like to lock them in.
Unlike a lot of villains, Starlight doesn't sabotage herself through arrogance. It was just bad luck and believable plot convenience that Fluttershy saw her true cutie mark. And that's what I enjoy about this premiere. Our heroines are being more active, improvisational, and intelligent in solving this problem. And the best part is yet to come. Despite Fluttershy's weak throwing arm, Starlight is revealed and the town ponies turn on their false prophet.
Every pony has unique talents and gifts. And when we share them with each other, that's how
Quiet!
Oh, you did not just interrupt a Twilight Sparkle speech. That's a death sentence, lady. It's now time for the villagers to earn top marks.
We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh.
Here's a wrinkle. Without their marks, the main six aren't as fast or as strong as Starlight, who was smart enough to have an escape plan. So even if they caught up to Starlight, they'd be completely outmatched.
I can't believe we have to count on these other ponies to save our cutie marks. If we hadn't come here to help them, they'd still be living under her rules. Now it's their turn to help us.
Everybody got that?
Yeah, we're good. Thanks. So it's up to Night Glider, Party Favor, Sugar Belle, and former lackey Double Diamond to save the day, and I love this idea so much. My biggest criticism for Twilight's Kingdom was that characters were being depowered or shoved off-screen just to ensure that the main six could save the day. Here, these new ponies aren't saving the whole day for the main six, but they are contributing. Even if we never see the four ponies again, I'll remember them for this scene, and I'm sure they'll have their own following within the fan base. The four succeed, and the cutie marks return to their rightful owners. Starlight is now completely outmatched and does the only sensible thing.
Run away! Run away!
And so the premiere ends with a celebration for the newly diversified town, and Twilight and company are affirmed in their mission.
You're a part of me, all of you. And there's no doubt you're a part of my mission to spread friendship too.
Ooh, there's a conflict. Yes, it's great that they're all working together, but what might happen down the road? What if answering the tree's call conflicts with a Wonderbolts tryout or a really important fashion show? I'm not sure we'll ever see the main six have to choose between duty and desire, but it's an interesting concept. As is the idea of Starlight Glimmer, who was a popular topic at BabsCon. Theories on her motives range from gathering cutie mark power for herself to trying to rob every pony of their own ability so she alone would be talented. The one thing we all agreed upon was that we'd like to see her return as a reoccurring villain, perhaps the first consistent villain in the series. For my 2 cents, after her cult fell apart, there was no reason for her to keep lying.
I gave these ponies real friendships they never could have had otherwise.
Unless she's lying to herself, that she's convinced herself that her idea of total equality is just and therefore any method is equally justified. But it's clear from her actions that she is drawn to power and her ideal is eroding from within, a common trap and more relatable than something being evil by design. I'm eager to see if she'll slip further into her own ambition or if she'll come around. Time will hopefully tell. As for Twilight and company, well, their flanks have been transformed into pagers.
Maybe we can stay a little while longer. Come on!
Yeah, it's probably nothing important.
I hunger. Run, coward.
And what is the moral of this tale? The need for diversity? The caution that an argument can't undo true friendship? I look to Megan McCarthy's Twitter. The lesson is, never follow weirdos into caves. Behold, a tweet that makes sense. This premiere is unlike any other. The scope is more focused and local, the villain more unassuming, and the burden doesn't solely lie upon our heroines. Pinkie and Fluttershy stand out as the comic relief and chief action pony. And while it's too bad that the others don't get an equal chance to shine, each one has moments that get to show their personality and humor. Last season, I thought that Princess Twilight was my favorite premiere, but I also thought the season didn't capitalize on the ideas put forth. So while I really enjoyed this premiere, I'm going to see how the rest plays out before I decide on my personal favorite. Regardless, I enjoyed this premiere and its departure from the norm I've begun to notice. I'm Silver Quill, and I'm looking forward to reviewing more of Season 5. And thanks again to BabsCon for making it an awesome start.
Life is a smile.